really loved the intro for New Year's Eve dinner. I liked that the door frame was flooded with light. It was definitely menacing, like the humans were headed for Judgment Day. In the pen, I noticed that they all had their ears tagged like animals would, and appreciated that fact. The filmmakers really captured the fear and instinct for survival that animals certainly face in these conditions, but gave it a human face. The ending was bittersweet. I really thought overall that the plot was clever, and I enjoyed the storytelling here.
This one was so thought-provoking. I had no idea what I was going to be getting into when I see the animal masks, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be convinced on the premise, but the really heartfelt stories and being locked in the cell with those characters really sold it for me and really brought it home. Production value was super high, and it brought a lot of different moral ideas and discussions up with me and my friend after watching it. So really interesting premise and concept, and the length I think was just perfect for it, but totally could have been a full length as well.
I enjoyed this one. Right off the bat, I was drawn in, obviously, by the big costumes and everything. I thought that was really cool. There was some great cinematography. And then they get into the room there, and you're watching it. And then before it's done, you realize how long you've spent in this little room, and they managed to keep you entertained and engaged. And yeah, it was just amazing for two reasons: how long that they were able to keep me in that little room and interested, and how many different genre elements they managed to cram in there. It's a horror, it's a thriller, it's suspense, you get a couple of laughs. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out.
It was really interesting. It was one of the more unique ones that I saw. The dialogue was really good, the acting was really good, and the story was very unique. And I liked how most of the action stayed in one tiny cramped room, almost as if these characters were sort of just animals, which I guess they were in this film. But it was a really shocking ending, with the baby and how they thought it was dead, and then the crying. I thought that was really well done. So the ending was really surprising. The story itself was sort of a type of slavery and, humans being raised like animals for the slaughter. I thought that was a really interesting subject matter. So definitely one of the more unique stories that I saw.
Definitely adheres to the idea of the less is more in terms of the production design and the costumes and prosthetics. It achieves its goal without having to have all this fancy CGI and whatnot. It's very Orwellian in its concept, which is very cool. And the thematic content definitely seemed to have this underscoring pro-animal rights stance to it, which I'm not sure if it's intentional, but that's certainly something that I derived from the storyline. It's a very emotional piece and makes you reflect on, again, how we treat animals and whether we should more than likely be taking a second look at that, and also just the human condition itself, our propensity to love and to care for one another, but to also be primal in our survival skills.
A strong story. I felt like first of all, the directing was great, the lighting, a number of things. And although it was about animals that eat humans, and the people playing them, it was just humans with masks on, it was so believable. Like, I really you lose that idea of watching something that's unbelievable, and then you start to believe it, and you see how horrible their situation is. It really makes you, if you're not a vegan, it makes you consider it, because these people were going through so much, and this is exactly what we put animals through. So to me, it was hard to watch, but it was gratifying, and it was worth the watch. It was well done. It makes you think. This is not a short that you will walk out not feeling some kind of way about. So I really enjoyed it a lot. I think it was well done, and the director did what they set out to do.